low taxes. The personal exemption has been $1,000 for over 30 years. Inflation keeps going up and up and up. They don't change that. Okay, the homestead exemption. What's the American dream? Home ownership, right? $1,000. What's that going to do? They need to index that to inflation, so I'll work for that. I'll probably get shot down, but hey, I want to fight. That's why I'm doing this, okay? So we'll see what happens if I get elected. Now okay, go to the next slide. What? Okay, wait, she's giving me 10 minutes. 10 minutes. Is my 10 minutes up? It's up?
If we ever forget that we are one nation under God, then we will be a nation God under. Thank you for coming tonight. Appreciate you. We have a candidate for governor here with us tonight, Maura McCabe. She is a Republican candidate that's running for governor. I met Maura back in January. I went to a parent choice event. And she came over and she was talking to me, and she told me that she'd been out campaigning since March, and I hadn't heard of her yet. So she said that she hadn't been really gotten a chance to be able to, no one's really given her a chance to get out and get her name out there, and I told her I will. I said I will. Anytime you have someone from the grassroots that's willing to put their name out there, we need to at least give them a chance to speak and hear them, okay? And remember, when you file for office, it costs her $2,000 to put her name on the ballot. Just remember that. So I would really like you to give Maura a chance and listen to her tonight. Thank you for being here tonight.
Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Maura McCabe. Oh my, okay, sorry. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Maura McCabe. A few of you probably seen me around. I'm not going to be able to stand here and try to tell you stories that are going to dazzle you. Because truth be told, there aren't a lot of happy stories about me. But what I can do is try to tell you what I will offer. And a few things to watch out for. For starters, I will audit everything. From the code of funds, to the lottery commission, and everything in between to find out where your money went. Because that's not right. You're going to try to set that straight. I'm also strongly, I'm not even considering, I have every intention of putting cameras with audio in classroom to make sure that the kids are way too many videos out there where a teacher is dragging a student out by the hair into the hallway. God only knows what started in the classroom. And I think the way we could set it up is that we could make it where a parent has a portal that they can log in and anytime on their phone or computer to see what's going on any time of the day. Because that is your child. Also, I have every intention to get rid of eminent domain because no one, I don't care who they are, has no right to take what is yours without due process of law. Our duly selected president wants to go after ghost guns. To be honest, I think our founding fathers' purpose was not to have the government know what you have, quite frankly. So if we can get some weapons manufacturing going here in Oklahoma, I actually have a design. I don't want to give away the whole magic game, but I want them to be designed slightly different. Because the only person who should know where your gun is you.
Manufacturer ammo too.
Oh, absolutely. I didn't have one without the other. Like car with no fire.
That's no good, that ammo.
Exactly. Let's see. Also, a side note, this probably will possibly get me JFK. There's a few alphabet agencies I'm thinking about picking out of the state of Oklahoma. As with vaccine mandate, and this is not to sling mud at anybody, but I've heard a lot of candidates say that, if you want to, that should be your choice. Normally I would say yes, but if I think something is seriously dangerous, it would be like watching you play Russian roulette right next to me.
Right?
I couldn't in good conscience not try to stop you. I think what we need to do, if we can't take one direction, I think we should try something. Oh my goodness. I actually want to take it a step further, actually a couple steps further, and to try to do our best to isolate what particular ingredients are useless and dangerous and have them outlawed in the state of Oklahoma, but they cannot. It's going to be pretty hard to mandate you to take something that's outlawed here. I also have a few plans to help fight against human trafficking. We are all hiding, we've all seen the cameras that take a picture of the plate. Well, we need a slightly different kind of camera that can maybe detect that there's human cargo in the trailer. But other than that, it will not alert anybody, so it will be fairly private unless it can detect the shape of a person or people. And I think that is something we should try because unfortunately, with I-35 and I-40 being a very main hub in the center of the West, that unfortunately we have a lot of trafficking coming through and that needs to stop. Also, another thing that's probably going to get me in trouble. We need to absolutely dismantle as much as we can child services for the things that a few years ago, ex-Senator Nancy Schaefer did what she could to fight against them. Her and her husband were found murder-suicide in their house, which seems like an odd thing for a couple that are 75 years old. It's not something we normally hear. Seems interesting that happened. Let's hope it doesn't happen to any of us, but someone's got to try and stop it. Because we know a lot of the children are disappearing out of the system, and they go missing. I have my suspicions of where they're going. I think you all do as well. Sorry, a little nervous. Also, now this, I don't know how well this will go over, but I'm hoping. I'm trying to start a movement called Fill the Vote, because there seems to be some changes in the way the voting has been done here, even in Oklahoma, even in the school board elections. Something seems off. I was invited by someone to sit in on a meeting a couple of months ago, and they were talking about how you can log into the pool, but you can't see certain information anymore.
Right.
So I made a TikTok video to let other people see it too. And you'd be surprised at the reactions. But I typed in, it wouldn't even show me who I voted for or even what method I did in my own portal. I know I voted in person. I know I voted for Frank Burdine. I know this, but it won't show it. So who's to say they didn't change it?
Right.
And so I think that every person, if you can, and I lead upon everyone, take your phone out, set it to video. You hold up your own, make sure there's a watermark, film that, and then film yourself voting. That way, at least you will have documented proof of what you voted, and that will make it so much easier to audit votes if you can tangibly handle evidence.
Vote in person.
I did vote in person, and I mean that's one way. Voting in person to do that. So I can't change it on the way there to it. But if everyone hashtag film the vote, you can vote and film it. You will be able to hand it to whoever wants to audit votes, and that will help probably a lot because they're trying to circumvent the votes. They're trying to change it. I knew something was up before, but the longer I pay attention, the more I'm starting to see you guys were right. Oh, also, and as far as warning y'all, and you probably already know this, but the Ministry of Truth is hoping to freeze your bank accounts for unpopular opinions. I wanted to warn you about the current governor running something called Senate Bill 1612, which will consolidate a lot of law enforcement, which I am very mind not allow your sheriff to have the power he's supposed to have. But you might have to look into that. Senate Bill 1612, so watch out. I know this one might be a little off kilter. Also, watch out for Project Bluebeam. I suppose that's it.
Thank you for coming tonight. I'm hoping to give you a hug. Thank you. Thank you for everything you do. Sit. Okay, next we have a senator for U.S. He's running against James Langford. And I'm gonna tell you, for me, this is for me, I will never vote for James Langford because he gave my freedom away on January 6th. He turned my freedom and your freedom over to the communist administration that we currently have ruling over us. And there is nothing that you can do to change my mind. I will not vote for that man. He sold out our country. So forget that man. I'm out. Here you go. Thank you for coming to me and sharing your platform with us.
Well, you all get put on a hand platform to speak on. We need more warriors like that. We're doing things on our own, but it's an honor to be here with you all tonight. And as she said, my name is Jackson Lallmeyer. My wife, Ginger, and I were the pastors of Sheridan Church in Tulsa, small business owners in Owasso where we live. And it was about a year and 3 months ago that I made a big decision that changed the trajectory of my life, and that decision was that I would run for the United States Senate to challenge, but also to replace James Langford in 2022. Now here's the good news. We are less than 40 days away from doing that. We're getting so close to doing that. And I remember when General Michael Flynn called me and said, Jackson, you're going to run and you're going to win. At the time, that was 14 months ago, I said, I can't even see myself winning. Well, now we're in a position, guess what? We're going to win on June the 28th. We're going to win. We've got a lot of great things that are happening. You know, the legendary Roger Stone runs my campaign. Roger has led 400 campaigns in 40 years, 11 presidential races, and the last time that Roger Stone was running a campaign in the state of Oklahoma was 1994. Roger led the special election of Jim Inhofe to the U.S. Senate. That was the last time he was in Oklahoma. Now Inhofe is retiring, and guess who's back in the state of Oklahoma running the U.S. Senate race? Mr. Roger Stone. So we're very thankful for him. And I just got a big endorsement yesterday, a very big endorsement from America's Mayor Rudy Giuliani, who is going to be coming down to Tulsa June the 1st. We're going to have a great time, and we've been very fortunate to be endorsed by Sebastian Gorka and Mike Lindell. Let me tell you something about a very special endorsement I received early on by somebody who took a risk on me when it was, can this guy actually win? And that was Charlie Meadows. So I tell you, this guy is a warrior right here. Charlie, I appreciate it. He set me down on the sports, and I think we were there for 3 or 4 hours, but I learned a lot, especially about the McGirt issue, the issue that we're facing here. And so you all know this. The biggest problem we have in this country right now is not crazy radical Democrats. But the biggest problem we have is weak, corrupt, spineless Republicans that enable and empower the crazy radical Democrats like Mitch McConnell, Lindsey Graham, Mitt Romney, and our very own James Langford. We've got to start having leaders that will put America first. I don't know if you saw this or not, but 89 senators voted in support of sending $40 billion to Ukraine. 11 senators had the courage and the integrity to say no. Ours was not one of the 11, which is unbelievable. In the midst of record inflation, surging gas prices, I drive a diesel truck. It's like $5.50 a gallon right now. Shortages of food and baby formula. Who's ever heard of a baby formula shortage in the United States of America? And in the midst of all of this, our leaders, not just Democrats, but Republican leaders, are willing to send $40 billion to defend another country's borders when in 2016, President Donald Trump requested $5 billion for our southern border, and he was denied the $5 billion. Yet, we're able now to send $40 billion to a country that has been a cesspool of corruption for years. Don't think that money is going to be in the hands of the Ukrainian people. In fact, this Saturday, you all should come join me. Saturday at 2 o'clock here in Oklahoma City. I am bringing in a man named John Paul McIsaac. Now, you may not know who that man is, but let me tell you, you know who that man is. He is the man that discovered Hunter Biden's laptop from hell. And he's coming to Oklahoma, 2 o'clock Oklahoma City, 6 o'clock Tulsa. And we're going to walk through the contents of Hunter Biden's laptop, which we were told for 14 months didn't exist. You remember, it was disinformation from Russia. Oh no, the laptop is real. In fact, at the rally, we're going to be distributing flash drives with the contents of Hunter Biden's laptop. Except for the stuff that would put me in jail if I was to distribute it. That won't be on there. But that's going to be this Saturday, 2 o'clock here in Oklahoma City. And I'll tell you what, why don't I just announce the address and you guys can type it out. I think that'll be the move. 1640 West Main Street, Oklahoma City. 1640 West Main Street, Oklahoma City, 2 o'clock. We're going to have a great time. Now, as I get ready to land the airplane, I want to let you know what I plan on doing when I get to Washington, D.C. Right now, we have Senator James Lankford that continually puts America last. I think it's about time we have a senator from Oklahoma that will put America first. And this is how I'm going to put America first. On day one, because day one is significant. On day one, it sets the tone. It sends a message. Joe Biden on day one, what did he do? He canceled the Keystone Pipeline. He could have done that on day 57. He could have done that on day 111, but he did it on day one because day one sends a message. So for me on day one, I got 3 short-term objectives to accomplish. The first one is this. I will release legislation in the Senate to be co-sponsored in the House entitled the Millstone Act. Now this act made national news 2 weeks ago when I released it. Here's what it will do. It'll aim to cut off all federal funds to any school district in America that teaches critical race theory or woke sexuality. In our public schools, we've got so many groomers in the classrooms that they are not educating, they are indoctrinating. So on day one, we're going to aim at cutting off federal funds to any school district that teaches CRT or woke sexuality with gender confusion. Now people say, why did you call it the Millstone Act? Well, in Luke chapter 17, verse 2, Jesus said it'd be better to tie a millstone around your neck and jump into the sea than it would be to harm a child. We have to protect the children in the United States of America when they enter into a public classroom. That's day one, goal one. If you like that one, I promise you're going to like this one. On day one, goal number 2, I will release legislation in the Senate to be co-sponsored in the House that will ban Chinese nationalists from being able to purchase and own American farmland. This is a very massive, important issue, and here's why. In the United States of America, over 30 million acres of prime American farmland is owned not by Asian Americans, but by red, communist, Chinese nationalists. 30 million acres in this state alone. This state right here, 300,000 acres of Oklahoma farmland is owned by the Red Chinese. How did that happen with a Republican governor, a Republican lieutenant governor, a supermajority in the House, a supermajority in the Senate, an attorney general that is Republican? 300,000 acres of Oklahoma farmland is owned by the Red Chinese. You know who American farmland belongs to? It belongs to Americans. This is very important. That's day one, goal number 2, and then day 1, goal number 3. I will do what I've already been doing, and that is to join forces with Rand Paul in the Senate to help bring about justice to Anthony Fauci.